Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So if you haven't seen it already, the first deck profile we put out this week for BT5 was LordKnightmon. At the end of this week, we're putting out Lilithmon. So today, we're going to have both decks meet head-to-head in this game. In total, I think it took us 4 games to really get a good one in, where it was just a good back and forth. So I hope you appreciate, the multiple recordings that we put in to find like the best game that's not just a total blowout and kind of a snooze fest. This one is super exciting, and it's gonna take a couple turns that you're probably not gonna see coming because they come out of nowhere. Don't forget, this is the last week to get our memory markers for Yaomon. This is the baby form of Impmon, Beelzemon, Beelstarmon. If you're playing a Lilith loop deck or a Chaos Gallantmon, anything like that, this would be a great memory marker for a purple deck, as well as a Musketeers deck in the next set. So make sure you get these guys now, because if not, you're going to really wish you had it later. Like, trust me, he is super cool. I definitely love him. He's handmade out of clay by my wife. So yeah, check out the Patreon link in the description below for that little guy. Kicking things off here, we're in Tabletop Simulator using Cheese's mod again. And looks like purple will be going first here. Just filling up those nice one-click, fill up your security in your hand, and you're just able to rock and roll and get playing. Very, very convenient mod for sure. Alright, so purple doing Demi-Meramon here. Great draw one, discard one card. Then goes into a Gazimon first, which is pretty interesting. And then goes into Takumi immediately, which is pretty much the thing where you got to play with this deck to be able to get your options off. Yellow going into the Pikmon, and then Digivolving into the Bushi Agumon, kind of telegraphing. Probably doesn't have any other rookies available. And then goes into a TK here. Looks like they're going to grab a Terurimon out of the security, and get the recovery one because it was a yellow Digimon. And that'll pass turn, but a TK early on is always nice just to get that, that consistency boost on that memory for the rest of the game. Purple's going to move up and promote that Gazimon, but then they're just going to, play a Gilmon for essentially 5 when you factor in that TK. Ouch. That's definitely not the most ideal. Yellow, though, promoting up that Bushi, and then going into the Terurimon that we saw them add off of the security. Nice, consistent, easy evolution there. And then going to hard play on that Kotemon there. Yeah, I don't know. I think the blurriness kind of threw me off there, but it's going to end up completely whiffing on that. No level 5 in sight, though, so maybe that was good to actually get all those 5 cards out of the way, so that way it can hopefully draw into a level 5 here soon. Passes back there, though. We see the Zalmon coming up, or Xiaomon, however you want to say it, and then goes into a Gabumon, another great draw discard. And then Meramon for 1. Going to use that Takumi there to get an extra draw off. Going to start seeing some value there. Purple really needs some good draw factor in this deck, just because it has so many combo pieces that it needs. And then we're going to see a LadyDevimon also for the same thing. Just you need tons and tons of draw power, as well as discard power to fill up your trash. As much as you're trying to draw into your combo pieces to get the Lilith loop off, you at the same time need to be filling up your trash, so that way you can actually start using the Lilithmon ability when she digivolves. Alright, so yellow coming back over here, going in, hatching a Pikmon there. No rookie though, oof. Goes into the Angelomon here, going to minus security attack on that LadyDevimon. And does manage to draw into the Bushi Agumon, though, with that Angelomon. And then Digivolves into the Gladiamon to pass turn. Alright. So decides not to play it, instead just to Digivolve onto it. Alright, Gabumon getting promoted out. And then Digivolving into the Vilemon here for 2, and then that should Takumi. Yep, the Takumi will trigger. So double draws off of all your evolutions is really nice. Now, Takumi does not apply to the raising area, though. Remember that, folks. It does not apply to the raising area. And then goes into a Lilithmon for no effect because there's not 10 in trash. Ouch. Desperately trying to get that Lilithmon out there. That's a desperate sign right there. Yellow, though, going to promote up that Gladiamon, and now we see the LordKnightmon drop because TK put on at that nice, perfect 3 memory. TK is very important to get a lot of these strategies off. Draw for evolution, and then go ahead and swing into security here, using Pikmon's ability to decrease the Gazimon's DP. I think he's deciding on blocking here. Does go for the block. And then we'll get the Gabumon draw 2, discard 1. That's a pretty good effect there for sure. And then also Yellow playing out the Starmon there. Probably should have played that beforehand. A little bit of jumping the gun there, talking, table talk. But then Starmon's going to come down and is going to reduce that Lilithmon DP there with the Starmon. And then needs to be discarding 1. Discards the Labramon. Alright, and then it's going to go ahead and looks like swing with the Gladiamon there. I guess that's security. That Pikmon ability will trigger here, so that's another minus 1,000, which will kill off that Gazimon, which is pretty good. Does hit into a Lilithmon, so that will kill the Gladiamon. Also is going to trigger the Demi-Meramon. So purple getting some decent advantage out of that. Cleared a Digimon, got some draw power. Which they desperately seem to need right now. They're definitely having their field kind of cleared a bit here. And then yellows, will they swing with the Kotemon for that extra little bit of hit, or do they need to save it? Looks like they're going to save it and instead play the Spiral Masquerade. New card here, so that's another minus 9,000 on the Lilithmon. 3,000 per Digimon on field. And with the earlier reduction from the Starmon, that will be enough to kill off Lilithmon. So yellow taking a huge lead right here. Cleared off everything that purple just worked towards. Not looking good for purple, honestly. Like, yellow very in control here. So they're going to start doing some real work with that LordKnightmon if purple doesn't act soon on it. Thankfully, that Angelomon is not live here because the 5 security. So they go into a Devimon and then a LadyDevimon with no effect in raising. Oof, yeah, it's very desperate here. And then just hard plays the Gilmon. Looks like they're just trying to do whatever they can to get set back up on the following turn. So it looks like yellow's about to have another round of kind of uninterrupted swings here. Will hit into a Zwart, though, on the LordKnightmon. That's going to hurt. And will play out a Gladiamon with the LordKnightmon effect. And then, yeah, grab another LordKnightmon. But it's not going to have enough. Plus 3,000 was put it at 14,000. Just not quite enough to make that swing. Ouch. That's pretty big there. And then we're going to see a Angelomon here. Going to minus the security attack on that Gilmon, which I don't think they're too worried about here. Going to Digivolve a Gladiamon here to pass turn. Looks like no rookie, though. Again, looks like they're having a lot of rookie drawing issues. It's a decent-sized hand that yellow has, but look at the hand of purple. It's off the screen. It's almost the length of the entire board. Then they're going to promote up that LadyDevimon here. Definitely going to be having a serious turn here once you start seeing those Jack Raids come down and make them live. Yeah, so that's going to bring them up to 4, which Chaos Gallantmon or, there we go, they see the Lilithmon, going to bring them back down to 1. Allows them to pick up those Jack Raids right back up that were just played and can immediately play them again, just continuously looping them, right, which is the point of the deck here. So they're going to get the 1 memory for the Jack Raid, and then the 2 memory from Lilithmon. And then the LadyDevimon will pop the rookie on field because a option was played. And then they're going to play another Jack Raid, putting them up to 5 memory now. The Lilithmon effect, thankfully, is once per turn on that card. So that's a little bit of saving grace. Not get, 6 memory. That would be crazy. Oh, and then we see the new option here for the fusion. This will allow you to play the Zwart for free. The only stipulation is at the end of the turn, the Zwart goes to the bottom of the deck. All evolution sources are trashed to the bottom. But still, Zwart Digivolve is great. So at this point, they're going to mill 3 cards, which is nice because that can potentially give you more targets for the Zwart, because now the Zwart gets to bring back anything. I believe it's a play cost 7 or less, or maybe it's 8 or less. And it looks like they're going to grab back the LadyDevimon and a Vilemon. Both very good cards here. Definitely seeing the value. And then they're going to use the Takumi for the Zwart Digivolve to get another draw. And finally swinging here, using Zwart's ability to return a level 6 to hand, now is going to delete I believe it's a play cost 12 or less Digimon. So there goes the level 5 that Yellow had on field, and now we're seeing a massive tempo swing in the complete opposite direction here, back towards Purple. Yellow had a turn just like this, and now Purple's having its turn. Here we see the Lilithmon get Digivolve back onto the field that was returned to hand. Which will grab back the Jack Raids again that were played. And so then you'll see that same combo there playing both Jack Raids. This is technically a new Lilithmon on field, so you get to use her ability again on the gain an extra 2 memory on the option, so gaining 4 memory. And we see another Zwart come down. Wow, what an incredible turn. This one was not used with the fusion, so it will stay on field at the end of the turn, because you cannot attack with this one because that LadyDevimon was played this turn with the Zwart ability. So a little bit of saving grace, because if you could just continuously keep attacking, that would be insane. Looks like they're going to mill a couple blockers and a Gazimon, and then they decide to play another LadyDevimon from trash and a Marimon with the new Digivolve from that Omnimon. This field is just incredibly stacked, and they still haven't even passed turn yet. 2 Zwarts, 2 Lilithmons. I've lost track of the number of times they've played Jack Raid. It's been absurd. And then we see another LadyDevimon come down for more draw power, going to discard the Chimeramon. I bet they wish they had the Chimeramon to pop that Gilmon and also pop the Gladiamon, because that would have just been like the perfect turn. They were literally basically at the perfect turn. Just that was the one play that they didn't manage to get off, which is still, not that big a deal, because that turn was still just absolutely absurd. Yellow's definitely going to have some issues here trying to catch back up at this point, depending on what they have. 3 memory is at least okay. Doesn't look they had a whole lot there. Playing the Knightmon to clear the Gilmon. Gilmon will not affect or not get its effect because it wasn't deleted to an effect. It was deleted because of a game mechanic of being reduced to 0 DP. But this puts Purple at 4 swings, which is not enough to kill Yellow, but at 5 it would have been. So I understand the need for the Knightmon. Zwart going to go ahead and swing in here. Kill the Knightmon by returning the Lilithmon back to hand. Swings into a Lucymon there. Not going to do you much of any good here. Digivolves right back into the Lilithmon again. Wow. So probably going to be grabbing those Jack Raids back again for all that memory, because they definitely like the consistency. And there we see the 2 Jack Raids. So that's another 4 memory, which will bring them back up to 5. Wow. Very, very powerful combos that once they get going, it's just absolutely insane. Oh no, but they're also at 20 cards in trash now, so it's actually more than that. So wow, so they're getting 2 per Jack Raid and 2 for the Lilithmon, so they're getting 6 memory back every time they do that. Yikes. Lilithmon will swing in there into a Kotemon, no big deal. Mastymon does come up on that Lady Devi. Probably wish that played out at an opposite order. Here they go into the Devimon. He tells me after the fact, though, that he should have done that in the opposite order, because he actually drew into the Zwart, and he would have been at 6 memory to Digivolve the Zwart on top of the Lilith beforehand. But that field is just insane. Just hard playing all this stuff. Finally gets another Chimeramon, which will pop the Gabumon he just hard played. So that was essentially a 10 cost just to pop that Gladiamon. But you know what? When you get to clear your opponent's field and they're at 1 security, what are they going to do? And that's about it. Lucymon, to recover 1, put them at 2 security, puts them at 1 memory, but I think purple kind of has it already. Not even rely. I think they skipped the Takumi trigger a couple times, maybe 1 or 2 turns there. But I think this, because the tempo was so in their favor that they just couldn't even think about it. Swinging with the Zwart here. No level 6 underneath this time, though. So we'll not get to bounce the Lucymon, or trash the Lucymon. Hits into a Mastymon, though. Not going to stop him. And Lilithmon swinging in here. Still nothing in security. And then Chimeramon going to take the game. Just, wow. Incredible. Like, it just felt like Yellow had control for the first part of this game, and then just out of nowhere, one crazy turn where they went all the way up into the LadyDevimon in raising area, which is really like desperate, just because you don't get those Digivolve effects, but then promoted it, played that double Jack Ray to put them up to the memory that they needed, and then went off with the Lilithmon, and then once that came down, it was just a complete steamroll from there. It just takes Lilithmon so long to build up, and if Yellow isn't fast enough, and Yellow in the beginning had a couple slow turns, it couldn't get into a level 5, it looked like, for the first, I think it was like turn 4 before they got into a level 5. That's bad. That's bad for Yellow to be, have that big of an issue, especially with like the TK and the Kotemon and all those whiffs on being able to find a level 5. That's pretty bad. But Lilithmon, wow, once you see it go, it goes, and the draw factor and everything like that. I will say, though, that this, out of 4 games, this was the only one that Lilithmon did win. Most games, the yellow deck, LordKnightmon, just plowed through it. They just controlled the field so well that, similar to what we saw in the beginning of this game, where they just kept clearing the field, the only thing that saved them was the fact that they had a level 5 in raising area, and that's kind of what you need to do when you're going against LordKnightmon, because they can just clear your field really easily, and they can just throw out a whole bunch of bodies and then just swing just for game with all this tempo of all these bodies that they have on field. So just be cautious of that. But you saw exactly how you can deal with that. Just protect your stuff in the raising area. It's a little bit of desperate, plan, sure, but there is tons of value that we see in doing a strategy like that. But yeah, overall, it's still desperate and can close you off from that draw ability of draw digivolving on top of rookies. So risk versus reward in that situation. But yeah, overall, I still think LordKnightmon is probably stronger, but oh my god, if you can just keep the consistency going with this Lilithmon loop, you can see the insane tempo that you can get just in one turn. We saw technically 2 turns where it just looped like over and over in 2 completely different turns. Just crazy value once you finally get into those cards that you need. So, yeah, we'll see how it shapes up in the meta. I'm definitely excited. If you haven't already, check out the video for the LordKnightmon that we've already posted. And then come Friday, we'll see my rendition of the Lilithmon loop. It's very similar to this one. I just made a couple tweaks and just a little bit different. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you would, please like the video and subscribe. Just a little bit of help goes a super long ways. It helps the channel out tremendously, gets my videos out there, gets them seen. And if you really want to support the channel, check out the links in the description below. I'll have a link for my Patreon, which is displayed right here. You can get access to my Discord server that I have, as well as you can get the memory markers that we've had. These are just a few of my favorites from the past that we've had. The current one, Impmon's baby, as well as Gabumon's baby as well, Sunomon and Yaomon. These guys are super adorable. I definitely love them so much. And every month a new one changes out, so make sure you check that out. As well as we have our new playmats. This is why I recreated this video. It's because our playmats are here finally, and they are super cool. I alternate between the black and white every single month for whoever wants to support this tier, as well as I have a tier just higher than that, so that way you don't also have to lose out on a memory marker. You can get both the memory marker and the playmat just in case you want both. super awesome support from everyone that has supported in the past and who will support in the future. You guys are awesome. Also, if you want to check out my merch, my Teespring link is in the description below for that. We've got, you know, the shirts that I wear on the channel that has the logo across. I love when I see people representing my merch in public. It is like one of the coolest feelings I've ever had in my entire life. Very, very awesome. As well as phone cases for you people that love Digimon like so much like I do. A friend of mine custom made all these to fit these specific phone cases themselves. So the prices are a little bit higher just because I have to pay her back, as well as make a little tiny bit of profit because of how much, unfortunately, they take for their cut for Teespring. But like I said, if you can't do any of that, please just like the video and subscribe to the channel. Every time we hit a new mile marker for subscriptions, I give out free merch of all different types. 2000K, I think we're doing one of the Playmat giveaways. So definitely be subscribed and ready for when that comes.